Hello, friends. Is there a woman in your life that has inspired you, motivated you, and just helped you to become a better person? I'm Dr. Delphina JOYce, Messenger of Joy, and today I want to honor for National Women's Day some beautiful women who have really just helped me to become a better leader and a better person. In many countries, March 8th is marked as International Women's Day. It's celebrated to highlight women's social, economic, cultural, and political achievements. It promotes gender equality and it raises the awareness of women's rights and empowerment because not too long ago, women were not allowed to own property. In fact, women were actually owned as property. You see, it's important to highlight women and the work that they do to make our world a better place. I would like you to join me in celebrating Dr. Teresa Kovaruvius and my dear friend, Laura Tafoya. Let me tell you a little bit about Dr. Kovaruvius. Dr. Kovaruvius was an amazing woman. I got to know her when I first interviewed for a kindergarten position. I was coming back into the workforce after having cancer. And I sat in front of her and she looked at me and she said, "You don't look like a kindergarten teacher. And I would rather fill this position with a substitute than to fill this position with someone who's not going to be here for the rest of the year." And I remember just looking at her and really thinking, I want to work with this woman because Dr. Covarrubias was a straight shooter. She was not afraid to speak her mind and tell the truth. She was speaking into me, letting me know, I want to know that you are going to be here till the end and that you're not going to leave these children because this job is hard. And you know what? Dr. Covarrubias loved the Garfield community. She loved the children and she advocated for her students. She advocated for the community, and she was a courageous Latina leader. She taught me because she walked her talk and I trusted her. I knew that her word had power and she meant what she said and she said what she meant. Now, let me tell you about Laura. I met Laura at the same time. And one day I was having a difficult day. I had barely started my role. And I remember having a very difficult meeting because I was teaching kindergartners how to read and how to write. And up to this point, I came in the middle of the year and they hadn't learned their sounds and their letters yet. And blending and segmenting hadn't occurred yet. And so I had a lot of teaching involved, and I had a great group of students. But I remember the first meeting, sitting in the meeting and reporting out the data. Now, granted, I had only been in my role less than 2 weeks. And so the data that I reported out was not very good. And I knew that, and I was sad about that, but I also knew that the data was going to look fabulous incrementally before we got to the end of the year. And I had full confidence that every student in that kindergarten class was going to be able to read, and they were going to know all of their letters, all of their sounds, all of their phonograms, because I trusted my skill set. So back to Laura. We had a leadership meeting and I had to report out. And it was a tough moment. It was the first time I'd ever felt defeat. I I felt so bad that the students were where they were and that time was going fast and I was working hard and I wanted them to already know how to read, but I had really only been in that role for a very limited time and it takes time to learn things. So after the meeting, I did feel defeated and I was sad and I was questioning myself, even though I knew I was an excellent teacher. And Laura came to my room, gentle spirit. She was a coach at the time. And she came in and she said, I have never seen such a challenging meeting in all my career. And I've never seen someone get treated like that before. And she said, I just want you to know that I'm here for you. And she still is. Laura has a beautiful spirit. And all it took was that connection, that moment for her to come in and to acknowledge my pain, to acknowledge my hurt. And she still didn't even know the skill set that I had, but she saw me and she knew and she trusted that I was a professional, that I was skilled, and that I could do great things. Laura's also a Christian, and so am I. And we both know that we can do great things through Christ who strengthens us. So help me to celebrate Dr. Kovaruvius, who has passed but left a legacy of courage, and Laura Tafoya, who's been a dear friend since a very long time. Today, friends, I honor you. I honor all the women in your life that have uplifted you, encouraged you, mentored you, and just been a good person in your life. So thank you for celebrating women for International Women's Day.